Good morning. I know it's not coming down. This is what it's doing today. So I guess a little bit more about what my doctor said to me yesterday. He was more interested in the celiac in my diet than he was in the PBC. He says that he's been, he's in his 70s and he's been a doctor a long time and he's seen a lot of patients and he's very rarely seen PBC. He says nobody has this. And even when he did say that probably transplant for me would be in about 10 years, but he says that probably will change with time. And he says he really did make it seem like I have the potential to recover pretty well. He's really interested in the celiac and the liver failure it's caused. So he told me that I have to eat fish. I don't like fish. I don't like that marine taste. But he's like, figure it out because it's going to help with my cholesterol and everything else. He says it's a superfood. He's like, eat it like it's your medicine. So I have to figure it out. I have to find a fish that I'll like. I didn't particularly like fresh salmon. I tried it. I just don't like that marine salty taste that you get. And I don't know how to... But he was saying like whitefish and stuff, so I'll have to figure it out. I've had tuna. I can eat tuna, but I don't want to eat tuna like as a fish. Like I've had your cheap tuna that you have in a sandwich. I've never had real tuna, like a piece of tuna. So that was interesting because that was a lot of what I was thinking. And he really seems to think that I'm in the short term going to recover pretty well. He said that if I do get a transplant though, that he foresees that I'll do really, really well. He says that, like, the prognosis for PBC transplantation is really good, but he says, to him, in his opinion, for me, it would be 95 to 100% success rate, which I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, because he's just looking at some labs right now. Old labs at that, since there isn't anything new since last month, but... So he took my lipid profile and my vitamin profile, and I'm glad he's treating that, because when I was running around in November, when I finally had to go to urgent care to get cholesterol meds, nobody was acting as if it was important. Nobody was acting like, I felt like I was crazy for wanting to treat cholesterol that was like 700 and something, which is ridiculous. And I realized that it's from the liver. My triglycerides were not high. It wasn't the most dangerous thing, but it was still something that I wanted treated, and nobody was acting as if it was important. In fact, the second time my gastro tested my blood, they didn't even bother testing for lipids. That's why my doctor tested this time. I just don't care about it, which I understand. It's a symptom. It's not the problem, but if there's a safe and effective pill that will treat it, even if just in the short term, then let's treat it. So I'm going to pick up the statins, the Lipitor today. It's free. So that's good. He spent a lot of time with us. We were there almost 2 hours. He did have to take some time out to go see other patients that were waiting, because I don't think he expected me to be such a big thing. But I think he's going to be a good member of the team. I like that he really looked at what I had. I didn't have everything. That's getting all printed out today, because I need it for UCLA anyway. And I have to call and have them, if they can, send everything they have to him, so that he can have it in my file. It was a really positive experience. Like I said yesterday, of course it wasn't according to my fantasy, but it wasn't going to be, was it? He wasn't going to stand up and say, no, you don't need a liver evaluation. Of course not. He's a doctor, and he knows that I suck about, because I told him the reason I hadn't gone to the doctor, not just the pandemic, it's because it was my fault. I take complete responsibility for not going. So, he understands, he gets the situation. So, yeah, says I'm on the right track. Every doctor I've talked to is all about the coffee. And I've read that online, you know, coffee is the best thing in the world for the liver. And I've never been a coffee drinker, but I am now, because I drink cold brew, which my roommate used to work at Starbucks, and she recommended it to me because I do not like coffee. I don't like that strong, bitter taste. And it's great. It's great. I can have coffee every day. I'm going to start doing a second cup, because it says the more coffee you drink, the better the benefit. And I've only been able to do 1 cup because it is very filling, and it, you know, it's a lot. But I'm going to try to integrate a second cup, like maybe in the afternoons. Nothing at night, obviously, that would be crazy. I'm trying to sleep at night. You know, still have to get up at 5:30 to work. So, yeah, I mean, the undercurrent of what he's saying is that I'm probably going to recover without transplant. He says because I have PVC, though, you know, it's not something that we're just going to forget and never monitor for, which is the underlying thing. You know, a doctor can't come out and say these things because liability issues. I get it. But he was very positive, and he did take the time to say that I'm going to be okay. And every doctor I've ever seen has said you're going to be okay, because I'm healthy. I'm really healthy. So I just have to keep medications and the celiac and the liver from ruining the rest of my body in the meantime, like my bones and my brain. And so yeah, I did ask him also about the CoQ10, because you know, you have to ask your doctor about all these supplements you're taking because your liver has to metabolize it. And he's like, no, it's not going to hurt you to take the CoQ10. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to reintegrate that back. And I'll need to, sorry about that. I'll need to figure out when to take the statin, when to take the CoQ10, and that'll be like whatever. So I'm not as scared about Monday as I was. I know my PCP knows, at least the head of the department, which is, I mean, I don't think he's going to intervene for me or anything. I don't think it's going to be a magical, but it's just nice to know, you know, it's just that they know each other, that they're taking me seriously. Like, everybody's taking me seriously. And I just hear horror stories that a lot of people, a lot of women are not having that. So I know I'm lucky. It's just like, you know, this in-between time. On Tuesday, I have a psychiatrist appointment with UCLA, but that's by Zoom, So Monday will be all day. February 13th will be all day. There's only 2 appointments, but one's at like 9:30 and one's at like 3, so that's going to be all day. March 20th will be all day, and I think that's it. And whatever else I have to get on my own, you know, in conjunction with the evaluation, whatever doctors or whatever I have to go to. But as I don't think I'm going to actually need the transplant, that stuff can be sort of shunted off for the future, you know, perhaps when I make more money and can afford things. So yeah, I'm not probably going to do Python this weekend. I don't think my brain's going to be able to handle it. I'm just going to do as much of nothing as I can, really. And get through, and then get through Monday, and then get through the following Tuesday. And then I will see my gastro in March, early March. And then I'll see my PCP again in early April. And that's where we are right now. That's what we have. And we're not in a bad place. Or I'm not in a bad place. I don't think my other friend from New York is going to have to fly in and take care of me after transplant, which is great. Because you don't want to ask that of a friend, no matter how good a friend they are. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask. I mean, we're talking like, you know, somebody to clean my stitches and take me to the bathroom. And obviously I'm going to work as hard as I can not to have them have to do as much work, but still, it's a lot. And I see I'm almost running out my time. I talk too much. I will stop here. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.